Bitcoin is creating a secret pattern which after breaks will create a huge move. In which direction? Let's analyze.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen for the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. Welcome back, it's great to have you here. A new week ahead of us, and in this video we will once again analyze Bitcoin on multiple time frames. You'll be using technical analysis, Elliott wave theory, we'll be taking a look at advanced things like order flow, and also we'll be taking a look at what's going on behind the scenes, and because of that we'll be able to predict once again what's going to happen next with the highest probability. In the previous videos you know that we have been expecting the next price discovery target to be $121,000. After that I wanted to have a retest of that resistance to confirm its bearishness. We have got that, ladies and gentlemen, and we have started to create this pattern: head and shoulders, left shoulder. This was the retest, aka right shoulder, and this is the head. After that we have understood that with the highest probability we will need to go to the downside, and reclaim this neckline into a resistance is mandatory. After that happened, ladies and gentlemen, I have told you that I want to see really this neckline to be retested as a resistance, and I want to make sure it's holding, alright? So we can say with the highest probability we will touch this liquidity pool below us at around $109,000. In this video we will be updating what's going to happen next. As you can see in the previous video I have told you there will be a short squeeze, okay? There will be a short squeeze. That's what we have gotten, alright? That's what we have got, ladies and gentlemen. And right now we will be discussing, was this enough or will there be another touch? Right now we are creating a special pattern, ladies and gentlemen. After this pattern is going to be finished we will have a huge movement, so pay attention because this is not yet finished in my opinion, and something is cooking behind the scenes. Let's take a look what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's analyze this short squeeze. Do we really know it was a short squeeze, or is it some new buying pressure from smart traders, some institutional buying pressure? Well, if you take a look, the price action went to the upside. What happened during that? Okay, net short positions went to the downside. They have been decreasing. Open interest decreasing as well, right? Net long positions been kinda consolidating, and the CVD, the cumulative volume delta, been decreasing, and also on spot exchange we will be talking about that. So what does it mean? It means that this price action to the upside was indeed a short squeeze. Why? Because you can see the short positions are decreasing together with the open interest. That means the contracts are basically decreasing in the market. You can see no new long positions being created, so long positions have not been pushing the price to the upside. And together with that, and this is important to understand for continuation, right? Will we have a continuation? Well, the cumulative volume delta we can see, even though like the net short positions being forced closing itself because of the short squeeze, there is still more aggressive selling than buying, and we can confirm that also on the spot exchange. There is loads of aggressive selling on market price on spot. Okay, so this basically suggests that the probability of continuation to the upside is much lower. Okay, it doesn't mean right now we will not create a formation. I believe we will be creating to the upside, but it means basically that this is the reason of the short squeeze. Okay, it wasn't strong enough. That is why you are right now seeing the candle to the downside, because it was just a short squeeze. It wasn't a fresh buy-in, and that means the continuation to the upside is coming with a lower probability. We have also started to hit these sell walls, ladies and gentlemen, from now on, because we are live streaming these charts with the sell walls and buy walls and liquidations, etc., and order book. You can watch with me. We are live streaming that on YouTube 24/7, and you have seen that we are hitting these sell walls. And because you understand that this is not real buying pressure, this is just short squeeze, all right, forced short positions being closed, it basically decreased the probability that we will be able to break above these sell walls, massive ones. Okay, and that is why you are seeing right now the price to go to the downside, and we are actually creating a secondary wave from the Elliott wave perspective of the pattern I will be sharing with you in a minute. Let's take a look at the buy walls and sell walls, ladies and gentlemen. Big buy wall is at $110,000, around $30 million, ladies and gentlemen. You know that I've been speaking about that 110 to 100 $108,000. Very important levels. $13 million at 108. Okay, above us 118 is being defended by $32 million, and then you can see up to 120 we have loads of sell walls, all right, above us. So this is also the reason why I have told you, if you are entering some short position during this consolidation that we have understood that with the highest probability will result in a crash, which it did, right, definitely place a stop loss above at least $120,000 because the institutions are defending that level. Okay, and also we have been taking a look at the max pain for short positions, and that was around $120, $300, right, something like that. So amazing level to place a short position, stop loss above it because it was defended by institutions and still is. Okay, so right now let's take a look what's going on else on the market. If we take a look at the footprints, we have been spectating right here at the top the absorption of the buying pressure, right? We have also seen that by analyzing this bearish divergence, the momentum being really huge, right? The buying positions being really pumping into this resistance, but the sell limit orders from institutions, from the smart players, from the big whales in the market been absorbing all that buying pressure, and that is why it created this bearish divergence on the MACD histogram, and we have not been able to reclaim this resistance. Ladies and gentlemen, it was visible on the stacked buying imbalance at this footprint. As you can see, we have been pushing into this resistance, loads of buying volume, and it wasn't able to be broken to the upside, and we have resulted in a downside movement. Let's take a look what happened before the squeeze, ladies and gentlemen. If I put this back, you can see loads of nice buying, okay, and then we have got a slight liquidation because it would be failed auction otherwise below us, and you can see this beautiful selling imbalances. Again, another absorption. The next candle basically pushed to the upside. As you can see, it resulted in a wick out, and we have basically squeezed these short positions, and that resulted in that short squeeze. Right now you can see something similar at the resistance, which I will turn right now into a red color so it's absolutely clear it's a resistance. You can see if I remove this, you can see that we have got something similar right here at the resistance. Again, loads of buying pressure. They have tried to break the resistance, but they have supposed to be buying right here at support, right? But they have been pushing into the resistance. Again, absorption, and it resulted in a candle to the downside. And right now we are monitoring with the Paradise team what's happening below right here on lower time frames. So we are waiting again for absorptions. Let's take a look at the funding rates. They are still quite positive, ladies and gentlemen. You can see loads of red numbers, okay? Even though some altcoins are getting into negative numbers, which is good, on Binance, on the highest volume exchange, which is great, but still the funding rates, the accumulated ones that you can monitor on our website mycryptoparadise.com, are still quite positive. What does it mean? There is still much more accumulated long positions than short positions, okay? And that again, like, is not really favoring the bulls because the longs are being vulnerable, all right? So be very careful about that. Let's take a look at the fear and greed index on the 4-hour time frame. We are monitoring with the artificial intelligence, the social media. You can also monitor that with us for free on our website mycryptoparadise.com. You can see that we are creating from the maximum point of 20. It's not absolutely the maximum, but you know from these videos that basically I'm always talking about that 80-20, all right? You know, also know the Pareto rule 80-20. It's very important, and you can see you can use it in analysis as well. So 80-20 point of extremes, okay? And right now from the 20 we are creating a 5 moves to the upside. 1 2 3 4 5. I do believe that we might, after this correction is over, that shouldn't go below that 40 much more, because we should not like exceed the top of the first wave. It should result in one last wave to the upside, and we will touch that 80, and it will result in an extreme greed, and after that we can have a larger correction. I will be talking about that from the technical point on the chart, how the price action will probably look like. Let's take a look right now what's going on the ultra high time frame chart. You can take a look. We have closed the weekly candle as a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. Smash the like button because we have been talking about this. We want to see it as a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. It's another confirmation that this price action is really favoring bears, ladies and gentlemen. You can see once we have topped at $121,000, we have created this shooting star candlestick pattern, something similar what we have created right here. And after that, we have created in January the bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. And this shooting star candlestick pattern you can see after uptrends. And usually if you see it, ladies and gentlemen, as you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com, if you're educating yourself in our MCP free university, these shooting star candlestick patterns are often visible at the end of some uptrends, and it basically suggests that there will be a reversal to the downside. Okay, together if you include in there also a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, it's just adding to the points for the bears. All right, it's just adding the points for bears, and it increases the probabilities there might be a reversal. However, be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, that you are not getting trapped, because right now we are retesting this channel, and this is going to be acting and already acting as a support. Okay, it acted as a support right here, so we can suggest it will be acting as a support again. However, we are still creating a bearish divergence, a big one, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the price action is moving to the upside, okay, but the momentum of the bulls is decreasing. Take a look at this momentum, take a look at this one. So we are creating lower highs at the MACD histogram but higher highs on the chart, and that is a clear bearish divergence. It will be confirmed if we will have a bearish cross like the one we had right here in January. If we will have it, ladies and gentlemen, it will be pretty bearish, okay? And if we will also confirm it with a reclaim of this channel, you know that reclaim, right? You need a break with more than above volume, and then you also need a retest. If we will turn this into resistance, wow, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to $90,000 for sure as a first wave of our new impulse. As you know, we are creating ABC idealized corrective mode wave, ladies and gentlemen. This one we have created since January, the first wave. You know that with Paradise Family VIPs we have been taking profits right here, and after that we have started to create the B wave, which can exceed, ladies and gentlemen, and that is why we have created these levels, these three levels. $121,000 that was already hit, right? And we have told you with the high probability it will hit. We have told you in June, in early June, on our Telegram channel, My Crypto Paradise Free, $121,000 with high probability, $135,000 with moderate probability, $169,000 with low probability. Let's take a look what we are creating right now, ladies and gentlemen, because we are creating an expanded flat pattern. Okay, so we have created an A wave, which is a corrective mode wave, ABC, then a B wave that also needs to be a corrective mode wave, and then we will create a C wave that will end up at $44,000. You know about that $44,000 very well, informing you about that level, that it will be amazing buying opportunity for a very long time, right? And I still believe we will hit it, and it will be in an impulsive mode, because in the ABC idealized wave pattern, if we are creating the flat expanded wave, the C wave is going to be a motive mode wave. A motive mode wave subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, 1 2 3 4 5. That's why you see right here this. But the B wave, which we are creating right now, is a corrective mode wave, ladies and gentlemen, and right now it seems like we are creating a zigzag. All right, zigzag basically subdivides itself into 3 smaller waves. A, I do believe we have finished A right here. B, and the C might not be finished. Sometimes it's shorter than the A wave, but one of the guidelines from the Elliott wave theory is that basically it is the same length as the A wave, and if we put it to the bottom of the B C wave, we can see that the end of the C wave, if it's going to be the same length as a wave, will finish at $135,000. Another rule is that it basically trends in this kind of channel, and we have created this channel slope by connecting the bottom of the A wave, placing it to the bottom of the B wave, copied the slope, placed it to the top of the A wave, and basically, as you can see, this is the slope right now, okay? And we have created A wave right here, B wave right here, and C wave might continue higher because it's nicely confluencing with the channel as well. So that means if we will start reclaiming, because if you are a professional trader, you need to wait for confirmations to make some actions. And from the ultra high time frame chart, we are waiting for a confirmation of a reclaim of that $121,000. That will result for us if we will get another confirmations from on-chain analysis and from other time frames that we will be visiting $135,000 for absolutely sure. And we will be again with Paradise Family VIPs trading that aggressively, okay? Because we will be able to create a beautiful risk to reward ratio trade where we will be able to place our stop loss very tightly to our enterprise and our take profit will be very far away, right? So we are waiting for confirmations, ladies and gentlemen. This is right now from the ultra high time frame perspective. Let's take a look what's going on right here on a daily time frame. So first of all, you understand that this is the ABC. Right here we can basically see beautifully the sub waves. So this was a motive mode wave, then a B wave, corrective mode wave, and now we are creating probably the C wave, right? But what needs to happen is that basically we are holding above this support zone, right? And the C wave, as you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com, it needs to subdivide itself into 5 smaller waves because it's a motive mode wave. This zigzag has a B, C, and the A and C wave are motive mode waves. That means the C wave needs to be subdividing itself into an impulse or an ending diagonal, okay? And right now we can calculate the waves. So we have created first wave, secondary wave, third wave. Right here we have spectated the shooting star candlestick pattern with a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern that basically increased the probability that we will start going to the downside. And we are creating a fourth wave, and we will be talking about in which kind of pattern we are creating the fourth wave, because I do believe we are creating a triple three, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be talking about that very soon. So right now, if we take a look at it, ladies and gentlemen, we have created the third wave, and right now we are creating the fourth wave, and as you can see, we are touching the ascending trend line of our channel. As previously it worked as a support, it will be right now acting as a support as well. But there is a probability that we might wick out towards $109,000 for multiple reasons, okay? But right now on the lower time frames, you will understand why we are very likely to start moving to the upside before we go lower, if we will go lower first. The most important thing is right now to understand who is in power, and the bears are still in power. As you can see on this channel inside of the larger channel, we have had the breakout. And also a reclaim. So take a look at the volume on that breakout, a huge bearish volume above the moving average volume trend line. Then we have got a bearish retest. We have turned this support, previously it was a support, into a resistance. Take a look at the volume, a very low bullish volume, right? Then we started to go to the downside. That also was one of the confirmations that this is not really good for continuation, and the probability of breaking above this resistance is extremely low, and we have resulted in a movement to the downside. And take a look at the volume, nice volume, increasing volume, bears are of course in power, it's visible on the volume. And then you take a look at the volume on the price action to the upside, again very low volume, okay? So you need to understand that what you need to wait for in order for you to be creating some high probability trades, long position trades, you need to also wait for the bulls to show some power, right? Otherwise you are just gambling. We are also still below the moving average trend line right here, okay? So be very careful how this price action is going to unfold itself. I will share with you on lower time frames that we might have a retest of this this. But first of all, you need to understand that on the high time frame chart, we are still bearish, and the fourth wave is very likely gonna end up right here at the support at around $108,000 because it's also a Fibonacci retracement level. If we take a look at this section right here and place our Fibonacci retracement level from the swing low to the swing high, we can take a look at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, which is the strongest one, is sitting at around $108,000. So not only you know that the institutions are defending the $110,000, you also know that this is the previous resistance, so a great liquidity pool, and also the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, right? So if we will be able to hold this, so there are two scenarios. If we will reclaim this resistance, that's definitely a long, right? If we will have enough confirmations, and then if we will have a wick out to the downside, we will be waiting for confirmations, and this is for long as well because it's a great support, and we understand that from the Elliott wave perspective, this might be just a fourth wave, and then we will basically start a fifth wave that will take us towards $135,000. As you can see, it perfectly aligns with this channel as well, and we might be forming the overall ultra high time frame B wave, which will be a C wave of our ABC from the lower degree perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you need to be aware of this bearish divergence, right, that resulted in a downside movement. If we take a look below us, we can see, however, exaggerated bullish divergence because we are creating higher low and equal low on the RSI indicator. Let's take a look quickly at the medium time frame. So with the highest probability, ladies and gentlemen, we need to retest this neckline. So you understand that we have started to break to the downside this head and shoulders pattern. This is its neckline, and I want to see a proper retest of this resistance. As you can see, we are perfectly stopped at our 1.61 Fibonacci retracement level, and right now I do believe that we are creating a zigzag to the upside, and we will be basically retesting this level at around $116,000 around this level. Basically, once we start touching that, once we turn this into resistance and we will respect this level, I will definitely be looking for some increasement of short exposure. If we take a look at this momentum, we can see a bearish divergence already. All right, that's also one of the reasons that we have resulted in this crash, but I do believe this is just a B wave. All right, and we will not start going lower just right now before we touch this upper boundary. So something similar, I believe, will happen like it happened in July right here. As you can see, we have got the first bulb right here. You can call it a booby, okay? You can call it a booby right here, smaller booby, and then we have touched this resistance on the bigger one. But still, compared to this momentum, we have still basically created the bearish divergence. The same thing, I do believe, will be created right here. We will create a bigger booby, okay? It will be a bearish divergence, okay? And then we will result to the downside. I will be talking about the downside very soon. So let's take a look. Bearish divergence, you need to understand this is not bullish, it's bearish divergence, okay? So right here, even though you shouldn't be shorting right here because you just would be getting trapped, you are basically shorting the support. It's also quite dangerous to be looking at the long positions right here at this level. So you need to wait for strategic levels, ladies and gentlemen, and then tactically executing your positions like a professional trader. So if we take a look right now on what's going on right here, we can basically take a look that we are creating an upper boundary above us, right? This one right here that I believe will be retested, and also below us, okay? And I will highlight this much brighter so you can see it. And basically we are creating a 333 pattern, which is a corrective mode wave pattern, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we have been touching this descending trend line from the previous contracting triangle possibility, all right? As you can see, it worked nicely as a resistance as well, and right now I do believe that we are creating an ABC wave to the upside, and then we will be basically going to touching this liquidity pool below us, okay? So one of the reasons why is because it's also the lower boundary of 333. If we will place and connect these two spots, okay, you can see that it's creating, and I will highlight this as a stable line like this. We can see that we are creating 5 moves to the downside. So this was the end of the fifth wave. Then we have created the first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, and then we will have a fifth wave that I do believe will be touching this descending trend line of the 333 formation. Okay, and right here I will be taking a look at this flip from support into resistance, and if we will hold it, I will be increasing my short exposure. It's also the target of this head and shoulders pattern, ladies and gentlemen, what we have been showing together in the previous videos, how you measure the target of a head and shoulders breakout by placing the depth of the between the neckline and the head of the head and shoulders pattern to the breakout point, and you can see around $110,000. That's the target. But I do believe, because we are in an illiquid market, Bitcoin is very illiquid, we might be touching in between this liquidity pool any level, so we need to be prepared for around $108,000 to $110,000 that it's going to be touched before we can start moving to the upside if we will get enough confirmations. If we take a look at the low time frame chart, I have highlighted here exactly the formation 333. This is exactly what you can see on our website mycryptoparadise.com and learn about how to trade it, etc. Okay, so 333 consists out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective mode waves. It's often visible in a fourth wave of an impulse which we are creating, right? The C wave of the zigzag is an impulsive mode wave, and it's having a slope against the main trend. The main trend is bullish, and we are having a corrective reactionary wave to the main trend 333 formation. If we take a look, I do believe this was the W zigzag, then X flat. I will not go through it, but this is basically flat pattern that subdivides itself into 3 smaller waves, A, B, and C. C is an impulsive mode wave. Then Y, a zigzag, which we are right now have finished at 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and now we are creating a double X. Okay, and I do believe that this seems to be a zigzag. Okay, because right now we are creating the B wave. Take a look at that, exactly at our Fibonacci liquidity pool. So basically this was A wave, B wave, and right now I do believe that we are creating a C wave, and it might end up as a zigzag, and we might be touching that $117,000. If this will be respected, this descending trend line, we will be increasing our short exposure, and we will continue in creation of the Z wave, which is the final wave, right, before continuation in the main trend. So the main trend is bullish, and if this is going to be finished and this support zone will be holding, it's the end of the high time frame fourth wave, and we are about to start going to the upside towards $135,000. But definitely, first of all, we need to make sure that we are holding this, okay, and after the upside we need to make sure that this is being confirmed as a resistance, and after that, if this is going to be holding as a support should hold, we are going to the upside. So make sure that you are waiting for confirmations, trade only with a proper trading strategy, enter only the highest probability trades where you can make the best risk to reward ratio. That means very tight stop loss and targets as far away as possible. Also keep in mind that Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is targeting the banks that are debunking crypto, that doesn't provide investment for crypto accounts, or they are somehow against it, which is good. This is quite a nice law. I did have myself a problem with one bank that being against crypto, so I do believe if this is gonna get global, it might be very good for crypto overall. So watch out the news also on our website mycryptoparadise.com. If you have enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and I will see you again on Thursday. As you know, I'm recording for you videos for free, these analysis every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So see you again on Thursday. Cheers.
My crypto paradise.